Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. Don't forget to smile as you look radiant as you are the queen of your Nile. Wake up, beautiful. It's time to spread your wings. Open up your window. Hear the bluebirds as they sing.
Welcome to Good Morning Gorgeous, your Saturday morning dose of inspiration. I am Sharonda Steele and
I'm Larissa Williams.
And we are just so incredibly excited today to have a special guest, someone that we have been talking for a very long time, actually known each other, I guess we could say 20 years since college.
Yeah.
Since college, but have
Girl,
really...
don't say that number out loud.
I know. It's been a minute. Okay. A few years. We'll say a few. But we've since been able to connect just over the last few years in a different way. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. So today we have Dr. Ashley Anderson with us on Good Morning Gorgeous. And Ashley, Dr. Anderson, I'm just going to say Ashley.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
When we were thinking about when Larissa first came to me about this podcast, and we were thinking about who did we want to have on here, I was like, I want us to ask Ashley to come on because you have had so many experiences and successes. Everything from the modeling and pageant world, like you've been doing so much stuff. And I mean, I'm telling you, like, the resume is incredible.
Girl.
And I mean, it really truly is. And I thought, man, because part of the goal for this podcast is to motivate, inspire, and encourage other women. And being able to hear from others that are doing their thing is so important. And I was like, we got to get her on here. Like, we got to have a few minutes and just talk with her because I mean, you are a straight boss. Like, you really are. You are. You really are. So I'm just glad to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Yes. Well, we're going to jump right into it. And this will just be conversation. We're just going to talk a little bit. But first, to those that may be watching or listening in, because folks will do both, just tell them a little bit about who you are and kind of what are some things that you have going on right now.
Sure. Well, thank you for, the honor of being on your podcast. It means a lot just to share space with you. So congratulations to you all. This is super dope. And I love the name, like Good Morning Gorgeous. Who doesn't want to wake up to that?
Right. Okay. Yes. When she first said the name to me, I was like, that is it.
That is it.
I was so excited when you first said, remember, you called me back like, I'm really thinking about this because, I mean, just having a conversation, the name alone, I was like, oh yeah, I just knew. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Like that, it was it as soon as she said the name to me.
Yeah. It's like I said, who doesn't want to be a part of that? That's dope. So congratulations to you. I am by trade, let's say that I'm a women's health nurse practitioner. I have a doctorate in nursing, and I started 7 years ago a women's health practice here in Louisville called Athena Health and Wellness. So my primary job is to take care of the bodies of women and girls, basically ages 11 on up. And my specialty is women's health. I do some primary care, birth control counseling, hormone management, that kind of thing. And so I've been a women's health nurse practitioner for the last 14 years. And it's crazy to say that out loud because, we just put our head down and get to work. And then you're like, a decade has passed.
15 years. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, like how? I don't know how that happened. But yeah, I grew up here in Louisville, a Weston girl on 18th and Hill. And I think I grew up always like wanting more. And my mom really instilled in me the importance of education and fighting through adversity. And growing up in a space that was surrounded by violence and addiction, it's like you get real clear on what you don't want out of life, right? And so I think, going to Berea College, that's how we met.
Yeah.
And being exposed to all different aspects of life, all different cultures, and, you know, sitting in a class having a conversation about poverty, thinking I'm living in poverty, but a young man from Tibet is living in the same circumstances and finds life so beautiful and joyful. Like, those are like the moments I think that completely change who you are. And yeah, so long story short, Berea College changed my life. Came out, went to nursing school. Sorry, my son is trying to creep in here.
Oh, that's okay. He's like,
say
who
hi
are
on
you
the
talking
podcast.
to? Ah!
Hey,
Okay.
handsome.
Now go back to your room. You can have your tablet if you like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Now he's excited. Okay, see ya. He said bye bye now. Night night. Thanks. So this is real life for me.
Yes.
Okay?
No,
So,
it really is.
yeah, multitasking and trying to mom. I'm a mom of 2 sons. So you just met Atlas. Ace is actually sleeping. He's a child following orders today. And they are 4 Atlases, 4 Aces, just turned 3. So busy life. And then I started an essential oil business with doTERRA, which is how Shonda and I reconnected, because I had these really incredible healing experiences with the oils, and it completely blew my mind as a Western medical provider, to learn something about a natural substance that could actually provide healing in your body. So that's a whole nother life. And then this year, well, actually, I made the decision last fall, but this year I launched the Miss Black Kentucky USA Scholarship Program. I was in the Miss America system for over a decade serving there, and felt very strongly that we as women of color needed something to call our own in the state of Kentucky, and to something like a program and system that can mold and shape our girls, empower them, and require them to elevate. So that has been like my passion project. The first competition will be in October, so I'm super hyped about that. There's like all the things that I feel like are happening in life all at one time, but I would not trade it for the world. I'm so thankful.
Wow.
That's
That is
awesome.
so good.
That is so awesome. And you said that, I'm thinking I might know somebody that's going to be in that pageant. Has you already started receiving applications?
Yeah, so our class is complete now. Who is it?
I wonder if do you know a Sheree
Yeah.
Brackens?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. She's invited me to the pageant. So
wow.
Yes, you definitely
look at God. Look how God.
That is so good.
Oh my.
Right?
I am so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. And she's so beautiful inside and out.
You know,
Look
and
at that.
I have to say, like, I've known Sheree for a little while because she competed in the America program, and I think we had orientation a few weeks ago, and being in the room with all those ladies, like looking around, like, this is a pageant, and a Black girl's gonna win.
Yes, that's right.
Guaranteed.
And
then like seeing all of the different shades of beauty, all the different sizes, the different hairstyles, the locks, the colors, like just free to be us and accepted as beautiful like that. Like, I literally cried half the day. So like, my heart is so full.
That is so good. We should do a like on-site thing for the pageant and post it. Wouldn't that be fun?
Girl, do it.
Like, go record or maybe some
Yes.
lives or something.
That would be dope. Yes,
that would be fun.
Oh yeah,
that would be so much fun. Yeah, interview some of the ladies. I don't know about that night because they may be too busy, but
we could that weekend because we'll have them Friday night, all day Saturday, interview day.
We should try to figure out how to do something.
Because
and like
the pageant's on the Sunday, right?
On Sunday, absolutely.
It's on next Sunday. Girl, we need to be down there.
We need to be down there that weekend. We
Yeah.
should plan that for sure. We need to figure out how to make that work. That would be nice, and then we can put together something that we could share on Good Morning Gorgeous. That is so good. Like, I knew that you were going to be, and I mean, okay, there are a lot of, I mean, I've just been incredibly blessed to just know so many just amazing women. I can't even think of the right word.
It's because you're an amazing woman. You attract that to you.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. But whenever you first come to me about Good Morning Gorgeous, I thought that fit great with the She Shed brand that I was creating. And then when we think about the work with someone that does with women, I automatically thought about you because of that. And knowing that all of this is happening around the same time as the pageant, I think it's like incredible. Like, I don't even know the right word to use.
He has orchestrated everything.
It is so
it's
good.
All him.
It's so good.
He has orchestrated it. Yeah.
So good. I remember, when I first started college, this was at Berea, freshman, I came in as a nursing major.
Mm-hmm.
And I, because I had, of course, a 2-year-old son then, and I thought, everyone told me, if you're a nurse, you're going to automatically get a job. So I said, well, I'll be a nurse. And I'll tell about this quick experience, and then I'm going to ask you a question. This is why. Okay. I remember being in one of the buildings, Phelps Stokes. I had come out of one of the rooms, and I had one of those backpacks that you pull. Mm-hmm. And we had nursing majors have some of the largest books
ever.
The anatomy book alone, it was just unreal. But I was pulling all these books in my bag, and I got to the top of those stairs, and I was trying to pull the bag over so I can let the handle down, and it just swung and dragged me all the way down those stairs. Scratched up both of my legs really bad. I said, I'm changing my major.
She said, enough.
That was it. Because, I already knew. I was thinking, do I really want to do this? But after that happened, I said, I'm changing my major. But now when I look back on that, I'm like, I couldn't have been a good nurse. Like, that's not where my calling is. And I'm like, I'm so glad, even though it was painful, I'm glad I had that little fall so I could change my major, because that really wasn't what I wanted to do. I was just doing it because I figured with the child, I would need to be able to have a job. Mm-hmm. For you, what made you want to go into nursing? I mean, I'm sure you'd have an experience like me where your backpack dragged you down the stairs, but why nursing? Because, I mean, it really has just morphed into every single thing else that you do, right? With the wellness center, even with doTERRA, with the oils. I mean, all of it just kind of go hand in hand in your practice. So
it's interesting. I did not want to be a nursing major at first. I wanted to major in fashion design, and
I can see that too.
Yeah, because you're sitting there looking gorgeous.
Oh, you should see some of her pictures. You should see her pictures. Yeah.
So I had when I was in high school, I had told my mom that I learned how to make clothes. We had fashion design, so we had home ec, of course, in high school. But then, if you really got into the garment construction piece, they had a whole nother class that you could take that was fashion design and garment construction. So I started doing that, and like growing up without a lot of money, I couldn't afford to get all this like name brand clothes and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, I'll just make my own stuff, and I'll make myself a logo, and this is gonna be fire. And so I really got into that. And so as I got older, I got more and more into fashion, and I looked online, or not online, but like in magazines and stuff all the time. And I was like, man, I really would love to do this. And my mom was not really with it. And when I decided I was going to Berea, she was like, well, they don't even have that major. And I'm like, well, the guidance lady said you could do a, what is it called? Where you kind of create your, not in here, please. Where you kind of create your own independent study.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she said that I could do that. And my mom's like, that's not even a real major. No. Like, if you're going to do this 4-year program, you need to ensure you're going to have a job. Like, this is plan B. And so I said, fine, reluctantly, because at that time I was only 17 anyway. So it's not like I couldn't make a lot of decisions myself anyway. So I said, what else am I good at? And I thought about it. I have younger brothers, 10 years younger than me, took care of people growing up. I'm like, I'm very good at that. And my mom worked at a heart doctor's office, and I got to go shadow there. And I realized initially I thought I wanted to be a doctor. And I'm like, well, the nurses spend more time with the patient. They are a lot more hands-on. They, I feel like had more of an effect on the patient, although like the doctor's making the decision. So I was like, I think that's definitely it. And it fell right in line with who I am as a person. And I really, really love what I do. But it was a journey. There were times in undergrad where I was like, why on earth would I do this to myself? Because it was difficult. Like the books were crazy and the reading. And then, I played basketball. So I had teammates that had like majors where they hardly ever had homework. And I'm like on road trips, studying books, like up to 2-3 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 5 for practice. Like it was a whole, like, why am I doing this to myself? Yeah. But I'm so thankful because like you said, that one of the beautiful things about nursing is that you can do so many different things with it. And I think more than anything, what you learn is the art of people, right? And you learn about how to love on and care for people, mind, body, and spirit. And that piece I think has really carried me through all the different aspects of, I guess we call this a career, I don't know, life, the foolishness that I live in every day. Wow. Yeah.
That's so good. We were just talking a moment ago, and I have like this prayer meditation room, and I was showing her, and I said, oh, and this is where my diffusers sit. I moved it in here for this today, and I actually have On Guard in there right now. Like, yeah. So I said, well, I moved my diffuser from the prayer room over in here so that we would have it, and I have On Guard in it. Because I am a fan of On Guard now. I absolutely am.
I have On Guard right here. That's so funny.
My bottle was sitting over there. Like I really truly am. And not just with that, but with all of the oils. And I know that's a conversation that we're going to have later. Mm-hmm. But how did you begin doing the oils from, and especially now that the connection that they have to you being a nurse, right? Mm-hmm. Because, when you study medicine or medical, it's like, okay, there's a pill for something, there's this for something, they want to give you a shot or a pill or this. But now even having that medical background and finding these natural ways to be able for people to take care of themselves, I wonder if those things have had any clashes. Like, how are you getting the oils into the practice?
Yeah, it has mentally was really a challenge because I think in undergrad and even in graduate school, I learned pieces of gosh, y'all, sorry. I learned pieces of holistic management, acupuncture. We talked about massage and trigger point therapy and things like that, but we never talked about essential oils. So the thought and concept of healing or treating our bodies from the earth was not something, it was foreign to me, even though it's in the Bible, we read about it and totally went over my head a million times. But it was very hard for me to wrap my head around, like, wait, so I don't have to use this. I could use this instead, or I could rub this on, or I could take 2 drops of an oil. So I got into it because I was looking for a natural solution for my fibroid tumors that I didn't think was going to work. And it was literally my last ditch effort instead of like having surgery. And so that experience changed my whole mindset. And it has been a really beautiful merger in my practice because I think more and more people are looking for something natural. People don't want to be on a whole bunch of medicine. And so I find myself in a unique space where I can offer both. Like, okay, we want to try to get healthy blood cholesterol levels. You don't want to be on medication. Let's try lemongrass. Like, there's stuff that give people options, which is very nice. So
that's good.
Can you speak a little bit on what you're talking about, the fibroid tumors? Because I'm a witness. I had those prior, and I know of other women that have experienced that, because it just seems like it's so common now.
Yeah.
So can you speak on that a little bit about what it entails and what type of therapy and what type of oil that you recommend for women that is dealing with fibroid tumors? Because it's so common now. It's so common.
So I recommend like a very super simple regimen. Frankincense is number one, which Sharonda probably knew was about to come out.
I have some frankincense.
We did the oils of the we did oils of the Bible like what, a few years ago.
I think it was a couple years ago.
And shared the oils. That was a good one. That was really good.
I have some at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So frankincense. I did all of my regimen internal, which I recommend for something like that. I took 2 drops of frankincense twice a day. I took 4 drops of DDR Prime, which is a blend. Basically, it's a blend that has frankincense in it. It has thyme and some other healing oils. What those type of oils are able to do, which is really beautiful scientifically, is it triggers cell death in the cells that shouldn't be in your body. And it provides and supports healing in the cells that should be there. So that is amazing for things like this. So I did that. And then I also got into citrus oils. I love citrus oils in my water. It's like right here in my water. But citrus oils help detoxify kidneys, liver, constantly get your body at a neutralizing or alkaline pH. Which it's hard for things to grow that shouldn't be in your body if your body is in an alkaline state, whether it's illness or tumors or whatever. So I recommend that as kind of baseline. And then also one thing I think women a lot of times don't think about is our toxic load. So what kind of products are we using? What are we putting in and on our bodies that have chemicals? Because for us, when we smell, rub, chemicals, whatever, onto our bodies, ingest them, a lot of times they act like hormones, specifically estrogen, and that throws our hormones off and all of these things. So the toxin-free living focus is one of the big things that I always encourage women to do, because they always talk about women and autoimmune disorders, and our percentage is so much higher than men. It's not because our DNA is faulty; it's because we use more products.
Yeah, that's so true.
It is.
So many more products. So I think that's normally one of the first things that I encourage people to do too. Is like, okay, we have this regimen, we're doing this internal work. But what are you putting in your space? Are you breathing plugins 24/7? That's chemicals and toxins in your body all day long. Like, what kind of deodorant are you using? What kind of laundry detergent? What kind of soap? What kind of lotion? Like you think it stacks up.
Yeah.
I read a statistic that said the average woman puts over 170 different chemicals on her body before she leaves the home in the morning. And it's crazy, like, to think about that over time and years and years and years. Like, of course.
It is. And we do think about hair and makeup, all this stuff we put on our bodies. Every single time I talk with Ashley, like, she gets me thinking, because remember, we have been talking about, like, I want to, that's part of what we'll be talking about. But, I was talking to her about, I want to start, making my own cleaners and utilizing essential oils and stuff like that. Instead of going to the store, I want to start using oils to start, like, thinking about everything, like what I put on my body every day, whether it's lotion or whatever, is try to shift now to the natural oils because of that very reason. I mean, one day we should just do a podcast just simply on oils and just let people just learn about them.
We can, because it's mind-blowing. Like, it is, because we are not in this country brought up to think that.
Yeah.
And then in our culture specifically, we don't really, unless you just so happen to come from a family that stuff has been passed down, whether it's from the Native American side or Haitian or Creole, like, if you didn't you just born into one of those families that give you some of that, we don't pick it up anywhere.
No. And we're groomed even from young age. You go to a doctor, you get sick, they start giving you medication.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't know these pieces. So, I think that part is so important when we think about overall women's health and how we care for our bodies internally and externally too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been going back and forth about these oils now for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look, my On Guard bottle is almost completely empty. I still be trying to get those strips out.
The last drop.
I know. That's how we need to talk. Because I use that On Guard every single day when I would go into my prayer room. I would just turn it on a few minutes before I would go in. And some days I would have like a really rough day or like stressed out. And I would be like, this is, I would be sitting here and I would go and turn it on for a minute. Then I would get started working. I'm like, all right, like, I just feel myself, I just started feeling much better. Like it would change even like the atmosphere of the space and how I was, feeling. And it was just because I was breathing that stuff in. It was really, it truly helped. And that's why I keep it to this day. Like if I don't use anything else right now, I use On Guard right up under here, that blue and black box, essential oils, like literally. So yeah. And I mean, when we talk about health and you're in that medical field. And for you to say, no, there are natural ways in which you can treat and take care of yourself, I think that's really important.
I really think so too. Especially because those fibroid tumors are no joke. They're painful. When they're reacting, they're very, very painful. Wow. I mean, I'm a living witness. I lived with endometriosis and didn't even know anything about it. First diet, and now I can say I've had 5 surgeries. And it was like every 2 years, like clockwork, it came back.
Oh my gosh.
It came back, and so the last surgery was in 2018 when I had the partial hysterectomy. And when she told me, when I went back for my follow-up and she told me that I had, she was saying, oh, the endometriosis was in there. Oh, you had some cysts. All these things were going on. But the thing is, the miracle of God, I was not walking around in any kind of pain. God kept me from all the pain that I should have been in.
That's amazing.
And, because I know how painful, balled up, when very, very painful.
Wow.
And to be healed now from that, thank God. Because I mean, every 2 years, like clockwork.
That's crazy.
Because of those. And now to know that there are natural products that are available for women, instead of having to go through what I went through.
Right.
So that's amazing how time has, progression.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Progression.
Yeah. And just those pieces that were always there. We just didn't know or didn't know how to use it.
To
help ourselves. Because it's always been here. We just didn't know how we could use it to help ourselves.
Well, and being able to see that there are more of us, more of us being able to produce the product so that we can help us to be do more natural,
right?
Instead of always wanting to take a medication, for something that you can do some natural things in our healing.
And starting off early, because I know you mentioned, Ashley, when you had your boys, you started off oils with them from the moment they were born.
Yes.
And
that's
now
the first
there's
thing
like
I touched them with.
I
touched them with frankincense the first time I touched them.
I remember you saying that. And then now, like, they have their little oils and they can put it on themselves now. So now they're learning that piece being so young. Now they know what the oils are and what they could be used for, even being as young as they are. I think that's just incredible, right?
Thank you. That makes me proud, to be honest. Like, they have on their little school bags, they picked, each of them picked 2 oils that they have that keep on their school bag. So if they need it, they can just rub it on them while they're at school. Because Atlas likes Stronger, which is the kids' On Guard blend. And he says it makes him strong and brave. So he likes that one. And then he has the purple one. It's called Calmer. It's the restful blend that he puts on his feet when they have rest time at school. So he takes those, like, very intentional. And then Ace likes, he takes the Owie blend. It's with him, because just in case he falls down or whatever, he calls it his boo-boo blend.
That is too cute.
And then he takes one called Brave that he said makes him brave, because this is his first year going to preschool and he loves that.
So do you mix them and they get to name them? Is that how it works?
Can you go get your school bag so I can show them your oils?
Oh.
No, so there's a kids collection.
And they have the names already on them.
Yeah. And they have like little flip cards. So when they first came in, we went through each one. It's like the red one is for immune boosting. Here's the school bag. So this one is stronger. And they just hook like right on the bag, and then that's calmer.
I want that. I
know.
For myself.
So they and they're cute. Actually, like this, it comes in a little bag like that, and the kids so nice. Like they have. This is what I was telling you about, like the flashcards. So it'll show you like on one side what it is. Like thinker. I use this for myself for focus, and then the other side tells you when to use it. So they can flip through and see. Oh, okay, this one's for this. This is for that. They were hyped about it.
So you know, I love that too.
And it's already
like I saw you post that, but I didn't know what it looked like.
Yeah, they had that in an adult version.
You know, some adults use the kids line. They do because they're still effective. And I think honestly, some of the kids blends smell better because they're milder on purpose. You know, they use instead of like the digestive blend, instead of it being a peppermint base, it's a spearmint base, so it smells good. So yeah, I love it.
Wow. See, I think we in the future, we're going to schedule just a Good Morning Gorgeous dedicated to natural ways that we can take care of our bodies. I think that's important. I really do. Because the more and more we are aware of other options, right? That we don't have to have so many people going through years of pain, right? Or if there's other avenues that they could begin taking, or if there's a woman out there that's getting ready to have a baby who may not realize I should, you know, put some frankincense on them when they're born, and just, or that kids blend where you can get them started on it now, before they even, you know, as soon as their birth to even being 2 or 3, my whole mic is ready to fall now. Yeah, so I mean, I am definitely sold on oils. I've said that before, and the fact that I was able to connect with you, and you already working in the medical field and saying, no, this is something I learned personally, how it helped me. I think for me, that was why I said, okay, I want to learn more about this. Yeah. So we're definitely going to have to do an oil blend one day.
Yes.
I think so. But you know, as I said before, you have so much going on between the wellness center, the oils, the pageants. And one of the things that really was a draw for me in doing this podcast was because of the connection that it has to being able to educate, motivate, and inspire other women. So as we start to kind of get this, the podcast will come to a end here with this particular one. Are there anything, or is there anything that you think in your experience or in your your knowledge, that a message that you would like for women to know or be aware of, or, you know, especially, you know, you come from so many different avenues, whether it is just that pageant piece, right? And that's identifying with who you are and being confident in that, to that medical side of it, of being able to care for yourself inside and out. Like you truly have the overall knowledge and experience when it comes to that. Do you have a message for anyone that may be watching or listening in to this podcast?
Man, that's loaded. Loaded.
I know. That's a tough one.
I think if I had to pick a message, so I'm going to do 2. Okay. The first would be to always show up authentic. I think as women, we have a tendency to mask, to please.
We do.
To show up the way other people want us to, or the way we think other people want us to. And I think especially today with all of the social medias and like all of that, there's even more pressure on women and girls to look, behave a certain way. And so I think that a pastor said something really powerful, and he was actually speaking of it in relation to relationships, that like, stop showing up the way other people want you to show up, because we don't need everybody to love you. We need your person to love you. So you need to show up as yourself. And it really hit me, because I'm like, that's how we find our tribe of women. That's how we find our sisters. That's how we found our partner. Like all of those things is like showing up authentically as ourselves. And I wish more women would start saying, forget what other people think. And do I feel comfortable in my own skin?
Yes.
If the answer is no, let's start working on that. Whether it's weight, whether it's career, whether it's being a better mother, a better, like whatever that is, work on that so that you're comfortable being you, and everything else will fall into place. And then the second part would be to trust the process.
Yes.
I think over the last almost 4 decades of life, I've learned things don't always happen. Cool. That's very cool, Atlas. Things don't always happen as you plan them to, but they always happen on God's time.
Yes.
And
yes.
sometimes it's like, okay, they see. Sometimes you think you're ready for something and you're not. Sometimes, I even think about the end of my marriage. Like, I never saw that coming. I never wanted it to happen. But I understand now I needed that season was training ground for me. And I had to endure that.
That all too well.
Training ground.
Listen,
like season of training ground.
I like that.
Okay.
That's a word in itself.
Yes,
you know that, right?
Listen, girl.
Write that nugget down.
We have to talk about relationships too, because that's a whole other.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But I needed to be broken so God could rebuild the foundation. And I could not be here as the woman that I am, the mom that I am, the business owner that I am, had I not endured that season. And my prayer throughout it all was, okay, I see that I'm saying no, God, and you're saying no, Ashley, this is what needs to happen. I'm pulling you from that because there's something better I have for you. So my whole prayer through the process was like, use it.
Right.
Use this, use me, however you see fit to empower and pour into other women with what I experience so that they don't have to, right? And so I have sons that I need to see, like, this is what a woman is.
Yeah.
Like, when you go out looking for a partner, you remember, like, I remember my mom worked her butt off. She did this, she did that. And if they see me with a partner, this is what a man's supposed to be. This is how a man loves a woman. Like, you are being watched all the time. Like, you are setting the example, the standard to people in your home and outside. And so I think sometimes we want to shortchange the process. Sometimes I would look up and be like, okay, I'm done here. Like, tap out. Like, move on to the next season.
Waving the flag.
Right. Like, I surrender. I trust you. I whatever you want me to do, I will do it. But can we please get out of this space, because it hurts and it's ugly. But every time, even when I had no idea what was going on, I had no idea what was next. Even sometimes now I'm like, okay, where are we going here? He never fails. Right. He never wavers. He provides. Like, we are good, right? And so the process is not always what you think is going to be, but God will ensure it's exactly what you need to be so that he can get you into your purpose work. So just trust that process.
That is so good. Purpose work. Well, I knew that we were going to get a treat. I mean, when we were talking about just women to invite, I mean, and we would both get excited as we were thinking about all these different women. And I mean, I knew that you were going to be one of those because of your your education, your experience, your background. I knew you're going to be able to really share some good information. And I am looking forward to us doing one on oils. I think that'd be really good for a lot of our and those that are listening in to be able to understand that. But thank you so much. Even though I know you got your son over there like, hey. And we know with this podcast, we talk about how we want to be able to help build women, but we know in doing that, it helps build families.
Yeah.
So we know what that means in terms of being able to have our children and spouses or whoever, significant others, and what that means to the work that we want to do. And we want to see come through this podcast because we ultimately want to bless women, but we want to be a blessing to families.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we thank you so much for
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
We have had a time, but I am so grateful for you. And we've spoken to some others, and it's just been a really good day, like a great day.
Yes, it has.
And I'm glad that you were able to come on and join us for a little bit. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we're gonna have to reconnect soon. Very soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Kidnap me.
And so nice to meet you, Dr. Anderson. It's been a pleasure learning
likewise
about the oils and and healing, the healing of our bodies. So, all natural sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
I have to let you try some On Guard.
Okay, girl.
But thanks again for joining us, and to everyone out there that are either watching or listening in. We always want to make sure that we remind you to find yourself,
believe in yourself,
and love yourself. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Good morning, gorgeous.
Bye-bye.